Welcome back to the Sports News Analysis YouTube channel. My name is Mike. I'm continuing my 2014 free agent and salary cap analysis, and this video is for the Baltimore Ravens, who finished 2013 with a record of 8-8, 2 games worse in the regular season as compared to 2012 when they rode that 10-6 record, obviously to be champions in Super Bowl 47. So a lot of questions for Ozzie Newsome and company heading into this offseason, much like they did last year. Last year they chose to rebuild that defense via free agency. This year they have a shade under $15 million in cap space, obviously before any restructuring or any cuts happen. But they have so many key parts that will be free agents. I'm going to take them in sort of two separate entities here. We'll talk about the offense first. In the offense, you go to the 2 tackles first, Eugene Monroe and Michael Oher, both free agents. I think Oher will be the one to be let go or to not be retained. He's coming off of not his best year, let's face it. And also, when you factor in the fact that they've traded for Eugene Monroe, gave up a 4th and 5th round pick to get him, he's a left tackle and a better player than Oher, and a guy that's going to demand big money. I think you see them retain Monroe. And again, Michael Oher probably moves on. Then you move to the tight end position, where again, there's the two main Baltimore Ravens tight ends will be unrestricted free agents in Dennis Pitta and Ed Dickson. I think because of Pitta's his value, I think you really saw this year when he missed those games with his injuries, mainly as Joe Flacco's sort of security blanket. The combination of Bolden being traded and Pitta getting hurt, I think really hurt Flacco, and I think that's going to help Pitta in free agency. You combine that with the fact that Gary Kubiak already remarked about how he thinks Pitta would be a good fit in his offense, and I think you see Pitta come back 3 or 4 year deal between 15 and 20 million. Ed Dickson, probably because of that, becomes expendable. And, those are the main parts of the offense I see, and where I see them, how I see that unfolding. You have Jacoby Jones. Where do teams view him? Do they view him as a viable wide receiver and a returner? Well, if even just one team does, I think they'll offer him more money than the Ravens, who certainly want to get to a point where they only really have to value him as a returner. I don't think they want him to be a bigger part of the passing offense as he was this year. So we'll see what unfolds with Jacoby Jones, but I think he's going to be more valuable to another team when all is said and done. And when you move to the defensive side of the ball, the 2 big names I think of are Arthur Jones on that defensive line, and also, of course, Daryl Smith at the middle line, at the inside linebacker spot. And you look at Daryl Smith, a guy that they got a lot out of, who's on the other side of 30, coming over from Jacksonville last year, having to fill the shoes of Ray Lewis, which seemed like an impossible task, but I thought Daryl Smith did a pretty good job. I think if they can get him in the same salary range that they did last year, he's worth bringing back. Arthur Jones, on the other hand, maybe the top defensive tackle available in free agency this year, and because of that, I think it's going to be tough with only under $15 million in cap space as of now. And when I consider the fact Pitta, Monroe, and Daryl Smith will all be back in the fold, might be tough with the money Jones is going to demand to get him in under as well. But you look at Arthur Jones, Corey Graham, also a free agent as well. But those main guys that I mentioned are the guys I sort of focus on. That's where I see this ending up here. Far be it for me to question Ozzie Newsome. I think, when you always look at the Ravens at the beginning of the offseason, even if you question where they are at that point, usually at the end of the offseason, you have a good feeling based on free agency and the draft as far as where they're headed. And I don't expect, this offseason to be any different with Ozzie Newsome at the helm. Guys, let me know what you think, where you see the Ravens going this offseason. Hit me up in the comments. Hit me up on Twitter as well. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, guys. Cover the NFL offseason wall to wall here on my YouTube channel, and 365 days a year NFL talk here. So be sure to subscribe. It's free. Have a great night.